Hello YouTubers. I know I hadn't done a video in a while. I just got this Saturday in the mail. eBay acquisition, a realistic DX-200. Listening to 40 meters, lower sideband. According to my Panasonic, this is 7.165, and I went through the calibration. Hopefully my camera's not there. A little slow to focus sometimes. 40 meters. I did the cal deal. I think you can see. Okay. You can see the 40 meters. This is bottom scale here on this line. So, you know, 7.165 is pretty close. And I can only hear the one guy. I should have done this earlier in the day when, you know, I could hear more. Well, when I can basically hear everybody in the queue. So I know it's late at night on 40 meters. It's not uncommon for me to hear only one side. Okay. Go to my switch box. I don't have it tuned perfect, but that's just to give you an idea. You know, it's around 7.165. Going back over to the realistic again. I checked this on every band. I have a few other videos. I'd actually done one video when I first took this out of the box, and it ended up being too long. And I'm not very good at video editing. I figured I'd just make a mess of it, so I'd start over and do a shorter one. I have some videos that'll come after this one that, you know, show it in operation on some of the other bands. AM, you know, the AM broadcast band. The others will be for the day I got it. This is actually the next day. It's like I said, I made the other one just way too long. Let's see if I can find some more stations. So far, I really like this radio. I'm really impressed. I was really hesitant on getting one of these because there are a lot of haters of these radios because they're not a $300, $600, $900 radio. They were an inexpensive entry-level radio in the day. But for what they are, I think they work well. You can find these on eBay for, you know, anywhere from 40 to, you know, 80 bucks, depending on condition and how well they work. This one does not seem drifty. I'm almost wondering if it's had the modification done to I think there's an FET in the front end that it's recommended you add a larger heat sink to stabilize it. Seems like after this one's on for a little while, it's steady. Yeah, that's AM. I mean, it has pretty basic features, but I feel these are a good bargain. It's got a nice S meter. It's a little liberal reading, but it's not as bad as my DX-160 and reading a ton of signal. Your antenna trim on this makes a huge difference. Unlike my Panasonic receiver, see, I run that MFJ tuner up there, and the Panasonic, I can pretty much just leave my antenna trim as long as I'm using the tuner in one place and not really have to do anything with it. But that's not the case on this little DX-200 realistic. Antenna trim, even with that tuner, makes a massive difference. AGC, your automatic gain control, fast and slow. Slow usually works best for AM, fast is better for CW and SSB. BFO pitch, just allow you to tune your upper and lower sideband. You notice to the left is for lower sideband, to the right, the center is for upper sideband. Band selector, like a lot of these realistic receivers, they tend to go lower, you know, much lower in frequency than others. I've tried it on all bands. It receives well. I don't have the proper antenna. I think what 0.15 to 0.4. I think is we may consider long wave. I think I can get some reception there, but it ain't the best. But you know, I'm just using a random wire antenna with a tuner. 13 to 30, 10, 11 meters is a little deaf on this radio, but then again, it is on all my receivers, including my Panasonic. I didn't buy these for that anyways. I got transceivers I can use, you know, in that area. I do like the indicators. I don't know if you noticed that before, but it will tell you what frequency range. You look to the right as I flip the band switch here. The LED lights up for whatever scale I'm using. I find that to be a pretty cool little feature. When you do your calibrate, you can slide this to re-indicate the correct, you know, correct meter band, you know, correct position where you can get these two pretty much in sync. The manual's available online. If you got one of these and don't have the manual, there's a couple sites that have it. I downloaded a PDF form. I also like that it tells you your different meter bands over here to the left and to the right. So by looking here and knowing which one's which, you'll know, you know, you get a pretty good idea what frequency you're on if you have them calibrated. And this has a calibration deal, which is explained in the manual. It's a 500 kilohertz calibrator. You go through the sequence, you know, you get this pretty close. Main tuning, which is your main VFO. There's your band spread, fine tuning, and you know the scale I was showing you at the bottom was, I didn't probably explain that, it is for your band spread. Typical, other controls are pretty typical. RF gain, volume, which has the on and off, mode selector. I do wish. Sorry, I'm trying to tune that a little bit. It gets a little hissy on AM, you know, if you start to be a little bit off frequency or got quite a bit of fade. But then again, it's an expensive receiver. It's not perfect. I didn't expect it to be. I'm still impressed for what it is. RF gain, volume on off. There's where you select a single sideband from CW operation that has a standby, AM and AM with A&L. And I wish the A&L was on its own separate control. You can choose to use it whenever you want to. That's probably about the only thing I really don't like about it. I kind of explained the calibrator. It has a phone jack in the front. There's a front fire internal speaker in it. You know, other than dust this off, I haven't really done anything to this radio. This radio was in immaculate condition. I got it from a gentleman off of eBay. I think I gave $42 plus about $9 shipping. That's a lot less than these normally sell for. He didn't have a lot of detail in his description, but he did say something like, you know, it works like it should, and he wasn't kidding. It really does. I haven't had to do anything. Didn't even have to clean any controls, although I did have a little bit of trouble. He apparently didn't use the 13 to 30, you know, megahertz band very often, because when I first clicked it on there, it wasn't making good contact and it was totally dead, and I thought something was wrong with the radio. And then after I worked it a few times, it's, you know, it started to work flawlessly. I think it just hadn't been used on that band in a long time, which is understandable. I mean, probably about, you know, the lower end of that I do use, you know, the 13 to 30, but you know, the 26 to 30 megahertz range I just don't use on receivers, on general coverage receivers anyways. I don't even use you know, 15 to 20 meters. I don't even listen to that often on receivers, even though, you know, this one does a pretty good job there. I have listened to some stations. Guess I can see if I can find anything else interesting here real quick. The video's getting pretty long, so I'm gonna... No idea what that is. mean, even though it's a single conversion receiver, it's sensitive. It's surprising. This little dude does a good job. Now the string, I don't know if I've already explained this. The string is massive. I mean, it runs a huge distance on that band spread, and so it don't have the best of feel. I notice now I've used it quite a bit. It's better. The backlash is not as bad. It doesn't feel as springy, spongy, and tight in places. It's actually not too bad now. I'm really getting used to it. I first got it, I didn't like the band spread at all, but after some use, you know, it's really not too bad. It's improved a great deal from just being used. Ooh, way too much volume for... Oh, of course, it quits talking. Just as I'm going to start to tune them. Never fails, never fails.
Have a fine evening. Alpha Echo 5 Whiskey Delta break with you, and we will go to California. Let's see if we can get to Kilo November 6 uniform, KN6 uniform.
Okay, so, well, I mean, that's all I'm going to show is basically, you know, your 40 meter range for now. Otherwise, I'd have to reset the tuner and everything. I'm gonna have some shorter videos to show some of the other bands and a little bit of the other performance of this receiver. I think that's it for now. I'm gonna be getting back to CB radio videos here soon. I've definitely got some other radios to make videos of. I got a number of them that need some minor repairs that I'm gonna have to try to get to someday before I show them. I've got a pretty nice Courier Gladiator PLL I picked up recently, and everything works great on it, but the AM receive is off frequency. Funny thing is, it's on frequency for transmit and receive on sideband, but it's off on receive AM, but on transmit, so don't have the alignment info on that, dude. And I'd really like to make a video of it sometime here soon. I've got it. I'll show you the mess. That's not a very good place for it to sit, is it? I just got it kind of sitting down there on the floor. But it'll come for another day. And as you can see, there's lots of other stuff down there I haven't shown yet. Regency range gains. I need some crystals for them. Some radios have already... Well, I'm not going to get into all that. I've got shelves full of old radios. So there'll be more to come. I ain't been feeling the best of late, and kind of been busy with a project my friends are helping me with the winch system for my main tower. So between the constant battle with the health issues and the winch system, I just, you know, I just hadn't had time for YouTube videos, but I'll get back in the swing of things eventually. Anyway, 73s for now, everybody. 262 Operator Paul signing off.